camera. Hi everyone. Just waiting for more people to join. I have my two little dogs with me. Hello, Ian Talk. I'm gonna switch glasses. It's easier to read the comments. Hello, baby. Morning. Good morning. Miss Anita so much. I know. We all do. Sugar. Shh. I have two little Yorkies that are joining me on our live. Little bark. Hi, Janet. Co-host moved here during multiple guest live. All right. Just waiting for some more people to join. Oh, you sent me an email with latest info. Awesome. I'm excited to read that. I have multiple phones here. I have my mom's phone. I have my phone. Hello. So I just want to say I really appreciate everybody giving my mom so much support over the years. My name is Rebecca. I am her youngest daughter. I'm in my early 50s, and I'm the one that lives in New West, where she used to live. Pete 2760 says he really enjoyed my mom's TikToks. My sister's on, but she's not going to show her face, so I'm going to, I don't know how to get rid of her. I'm going to disconnect her for now. She's having a pedicure. So, so I'm Anita's daughter, and this is my first time going live, well, we did her celebration of life live. And I just want to say that it's really funny over the time where we were losing mom. We never really had the conversation of what to do with her TikTok. We talked about so many other things, but we never said, what are we going to do? We might have joked to say, are you going to take over my TikTok? And it was like, ha ha ha, yeah, fat chance kind of thing. But now it's happening, so it's kind of funny. So, oh good, well, I'll need your moderator, Suzanne. We had a lot of fun as moderators during the lockdown period. So I don't even know what moderators are, so I'll need help. So what this has turned out to be is something that we know that her followers are really miss her as much as we do. And we thought that we would just try to keep her memory and legacy alive because she brought so much joy to so many people. So as much as I can, I will repost what I can, and there might be some surprises along the way, and that's my plan. Just wondering if you guys have any questions, like, where are you joining from? Like, tell me about yourselves, and maybe I'll connect with them. Melanie says, she was one special lady. Yes, she was. Smoggy 380s in Ontario. I just found out that one of my coworkers' wife has been following my mom for 3 years. So it's very, very bizarre, but awesome as at the same time. Ian from Scotland, Ireland, wow. So I don't do cake decorating. I can cook. Of course, I'm the chip off the old Nana. We know how to we know how to do a lot of things that just come very natural to us, like how to entertain, how to host, how to pull a party together. I'm a very natural cook from her. And not a day goes by that I'm reminded of some wonderful hack that you taught us. Oh, thanks. Yeah, Mom, she never ever believed that she was worthy of all this. What's the word I'm looking for? How well everybody loved her and appreciated her. And we said how special she would, and she'd be just like, yeah. So, thank you, Amanda. My sister is Queen A 1970. She's following along on here. And Amanda says I'm an excellent cook. So, yeah, I can never decorate a cake. So what I like to do is I make chocolate. And we always joked about how she's like, why don't you just learn cake decorating with me? Because maybe one day you'll do it. And I'm like, no, it was way too messy. And we joke because chocolate, being a chocolatier, is just way messy. You get chocolate on your hands, then you touch the microwave, you touch the fridge, and I have chocolate fingerprints everywhere. And I'm like, oh yeah, Mom, chocolatiering is way cleaner than doing cake decorating. We always thought it was funny because it came full circle with Mom, because I don't know if she ever spoke to you, but our grandmother, my grandmother, her mom, she used to cake decorate. She used to make wedding cakes all the time. And Mom was never, ever interested in making them at the time. Here's my friend Anna. She says I make great Yorkshire puddings, which I have figured out over the years. Sometimes I like to serve Anna hockey pucks, but not necessarily anymore. I've figured it out. Who said this? I moved to Oregon about a year ago from California. Hope to get to BC to see her. Yeah. Mom would say she was just being her. Exactly. She taught you. It says, Suzanne says, she taught me to decorate cakes, and I've done quite a few for charity since serving foster kids. Oh, that's lovely. I love that. I love that. So I wrote some notes about the last month of her life, and I'll tell the story as I see it. So let me find my notes, because I have multiple phones now, because I am TikTok Nana and I have my own phone. I'm always carrying around so many. So, you know how she was suffering with her chemo and started to get weak. And at Christmas time, she had her tumor markers checked, and they started to elevate a little bit, but we told her, not to worry, not to ruin Christmas. And between, you and me and my sister, we were, suspect that she's starting to dwindle. And she went to Ontario for Christmas. And of course it was a white Christmas, which Ontario, it's not very often it is a white Christmas anymore. Oh, Amanda and I, kind of gave each other a look like, of course it's a white Christmas. It's probably going to be Mama's last Christmas. That's why it's a white Christmas. Things like that. But we were still optimistic. But Mom never was not optimistic. She always, nope, I'm doing okay. I'm still fighting this. Amanda says she wasn't herself that Christmas. Yeah. So, hi, Bethany. So her tumor markers were were, steadily but not growing, but she wasn't feeling great. And Amanda was saying that we always do a puzzle. So Amanda in Ontario, when mom flies back, they always do a puzzle, and mom wasn't interested in doing the puzzle at all this year. She just wasn't in the mood to concentrate or anything like that. So when she came back in January, she had a CT scan early in February, but it didn't really say anything. It didn't say that her cancer was progressing. It didn't say that it was growing. It didn't say anything like that. But yet, mom was just feeling like crap, like shit. I swear a lot, so I'm always that girl. So we just wanted to try to keep her comfortable. So she was doing some chemo, and then we decided, I'm like, Mom, maybe the chemo's beating you up. Maybe you need to take a break. And that's when she posted that TikTok that is chemo getting you down. Should you take a break and let yourself heal for a bit? Thanks for the rose, I don't know how to say Margina. Thank you. So that's kind of how that happened, that she took a break from the chemo. But meanwhile, she couldn't eat. Like, I was at my girlfriend's for dinner, and she phoned me, and she's like, Rebecca, get over here right now. And I'm like, and I happened to be in Surrey, which was in New West, which is a 20-minute drive. And I'm like, what's going on? She goes, I can't get off the bathroom floor, because she was vomiting so much. So I ran over there, obviously, and parked and tried to get her off the bathroom floor. And like, when I lifted her, it was dead weight. Like, even though she weighed nothing, for me, like, I'm 5 foot, I'm like, it was just super heavy to do that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what's going to happen here? Like, I can't take care of her like this. And the funny thing was, in February, my husband and I, because I have 2 dogs and a husband, and we were living in Surrey, and we decided to move closer to mom. And she lives in this beautiful little neighborhood, so we decided to move to this neighborhood. So we put up the house for sale in September, finally got an offer in November, and finally moved in February to our new place, which is on the same street. So she and I lived on the same street. She was at 100, the numbers like 200 to 300 different. So I'm in walking distance to her. Hello, Sis Nuz. And so I had moved closer to be with her. And of course, the one night that I was visiting my friends in Surrey, I had to come all the way back and rush, instead of the whole idea of her meetings being super close by. It's just always Murphy laws. So anyway, we were taking care of her, and fast forward, like, she was just not feeling well at all, and she couldn't eat. So she would eat something and then throw up and vomiting. And she would eat something and then throw up vomiting, or she just wasn't hungry at all, and all these things. So she was losing weight left, right, and center, and she was dragging her heels. Well, you guys have seen mom for how many years on TikTok? She type A personality. She just never ever sits down. She just totally carries on running around. And she's like, what are you doing today? I'm the type of person to have a nap, and then I'll have a second nap sometimes if I'm tired on the weekend. But she's like, when I would go visit her, she's like, what are you doing, napping? We're not allowed to nap. Because you can nap when you're dead, and you're visiting me. You're not allowed to nap. So we knew something was wrong when mom would nap, and I would nap beside her. I was like, ooh, I kind of like this mom, but because I get to nap. But we always kind of laughed at that. Anyhow, so came Easter. I'm hosting dinner with my friend, not Friendsgiving, but Easter Friendsgiving. And so I have all my usual suspects that I've known for 25 years, and they're over here, and I'm lucky enough to have mom here with me now because she moved out in 2018, and we're having Easter together. But she didn't want to sit at the table. She couldn't even look at the food. and she was just not feeling well. And at the time I had a recliner, and she was just kind of in the recliner dozing, and we were eating. And after dinner, you know, all my friends have known her for just as long as like for 25 years. And they're like, Anita, you need to go to the hospital. Anita, you know, Rebecca will take you to the hospital. And she was like, nope, not going to the hospital. It's a long weekend. I'm going to have to sit there forever. I'm not going to freaking the hospital. Forget it. Don't even think about that. But she was just so weak and barely could do anything. So yeah, she was full of energy. Like, I don't know where Suzanne, she got the energy from, but she was just always so full of energy. So, so that was on the Sunday. On the Monday would be Easter Monday, so it's kind of holiday-ish here as well, because we're in Vancouver area. And I go to the doctor monthly for B12 shots for energy, for my energy, because I don't have her energy. So I said, hey Mom, why don't you come to my B12 shot with me and see our doctor, because we have the same doctor. And of course I talked her into that. I said, Uber over and we'll have that conversation with doctor. Well, he took one look at her and he said, Anita, you need to go to the hospital. And so he's like, you need to take to Emerge right now. So that was at lunchtime. So I abandoned my desk. I didn't even go back that day. And we had a doctor's note, which said this woman needs an IV fluid. And that's what we did. We went to the hospital and which, although in Canada, the healthcare system is free, what is not free is your time. So what takes up so much time, like if you just have to sit there and wait. And Amanda's, my sister, she writes, I'm pretty sure she didn't want to go to the hospital because she thought she may not come out. But I think Amanda's right. She didn't want to be admitted and all that kind of stuff. So when we went to Emerge, we were there from say 1 o'clock on until, we didn't get home until about 11 that night. And she had a doctor's note to say that she needed IV, and our system here wouldn't give her any fluids. So I finally had to ask her for some ice chips. I'm like, we're here for an IV, and yet you guys are holding back all fluids. They're like, oh, you can't have any fluids until you see the doctor. I'm like, well, our doctor said that we need to have fluids. One leg was swollen over the other. I think that was her left leg. It didn't even look like her leg anymore. We were waiting in a wheelchair for hours. Like, we were exhausted, both of us. Luckily, we had our heated vests on because it helped us take the chill off for both of us. And then what else happened? So they did blood work while we were waiting, and then we finally saw the doctor, and they decided to give her another CT scan. So then when we had the next CT scan, the doctor came back and revealed the results, and they said that her cancer was actually starting to spread in her small intestine. And that's why every time she ate, she threw up, because it was like strangling it. And that's why it was unsafe for her to keep eating. So that was what was really bad, is that the cancer was spreading, and which it had no, like the last CT scan a month ahead of time, or February or whatever, or 2 months or whatever, it didn't show that the cancer was spreading like that. Even her oncologist had no clue why she was feeling so poorly at the time. So that is what has happened. Yeah, she did love her heated vest. Oh, okay. You guys said that you can hear me okay? That's good. So that is kind of how we found out that her cancer was spreading. Now, that was Easter, so that was at the end of April. So quickly we phoned the next day. She was still so positive. And then she had the IV, so she felt amazing, right? It was just like she had a bit, I think she might even had a steroid that night, but they gave her an IV, so she felt like $1,000,000. The next day, my girlfriend and I went over and we visited with her, and she felt amazing. She did, I think she did a couple of TikTok messages to you guys. And then, the Thursday we had the call with our doctor. So she also, had called her oncologist, and the oncologist said that she was very friendly and nice, and we weren't the biggest fan of her oncologist, honestly, but apparently there's only 16 or 17 oncologists for the whole province of British Columbia. So I don't think you can be too picky when it comes to oncologists. You're lucky even to get one. And it turns out, that you, like, when you get diagnosed with cancer, it almost takes like a month to get into the cancer clinic because they're so busy right now. So that's what I heard. Anyway, so Mom called the oncologist, and Mom's like, well, I can do a different type of chemo. It's okay. And she was still so positive, and our oncologist said, no, out of my, I don't know how many, 10 to 15 years of being an oncologist, when you're at this stage, there's never been any chemo that has ever been able to be successful to stop this. So that is what happens. Can you guys hear me? I don't know what it says. Your sister has the volume turned down like you do often. So are you guys okay with my volume? Yeah? Okay. Thank you. We can hear me. Okay, that's good. Yay. I see all these names that always send so many nice messages to me or to Mom. So that's good. Thank you for responding to me. Yeah, so Mom parted ways with the oncologist, but they decided that they would put the palliative people in place, and she got expedited quite quickly. And between the oncologist and our family doctor, Fraser Health came, and we decided that she would do palliative care at home. And I don't know if Mom had a secret cry session at home, like was crying because she's going to die or anything like that. But Amanda and I never saw that once. She never showed us a pity party once. She never cried once. She just said, it is what it is. I'm going to die. I can't do anything about it. So Amanda, Amanda and I were devastated. Certainly we had our own pity parties and we were crying. Amanda jumped on the plane and came out. Amanda, what day did you come out? Do you remember? I don't even remember. So it was, we're organizing her palliative, and she also didn't know, she had already pre-signed up for assisted dying, which is MAID, as you know. Amanda said she flew out the Monday of the last week of April. Yes, in the early days of the journey, she said, I could say, why me? But I can also say, why not me? Exactly. Did Anita ever speak about missing her TikTok community during all of this? Of course. She just hated not being able to make content, and she hated feeling like crap. And that's partly of what her quality of life was, that she couldn't eat, and she couldn't do all the things that she loved. And at that point, she knew that, aside of her health journey, that it wasn't herself. She wasn't being her. She wasn't being Mom, she wasn't being TikTok Nana. Beyond crushing when you get news like that from the doctor. I was there when my dad received the same news. Yeah, well, this whole journey was, even the day she was diagnosed with it, she was, I don't know if she ever told you the story, but we were in the hospital and she had her initial CT scan, and the doctor came out in the middle of the waiting room with all these people full. And she's like, so you're cancer. And we're like, what? We're not here for cancer. We're like maybe a bowel obstruction. What are you talking about? And she's like, no, you're cancer. I'm like, well, how do you know she's got cancer? And the doctor pointed to a garbage can. And she's like, well, see that garbage can over there? I don't have to pick it up to know it's a garbage can. That's the same with your CT scan. I know it's cancer. So it's been, it's been a rough time. So we were always shocked from that moment. Amanda, my sister, says, Mom said she would call it the day she couldn't get up to do the things she wanted to do. Yeah. So back to the story of when she found out. So then we decided to organize the maid, and she had pre-signed up for maid. Yeah, it was Ian, a very dreadful way to find out. The bedside manner was horrible. Yeah. So we decided what day would be the best for maid. And we decided based on what Mom felt like, of course, and she wanted to see her grandson, Jackson, and my sister's husband, John, was going to fly out as well. And we decided what was right for us. And for me, I didn't know if I was going to be continuing working or not working and try to do all. And there's some other things. I ended up taking work off. And I'm glad I did, obviously, because I couldn't have. It was just such a whirlwind the last, 2 to 3 weeks of her life. So I just took a leave of absence from my work. And yeah, we were very important to Mama, for sure. Jackson and Mom and Amanda and I were a very big team together. So how did we feel when your mother first shared that she would be doing maid? Obviously, we don't want Mom. We never wanted Mom to die, but we never wanted her to be suffering. And at this point, she would be suffering. Like, to think about every time you eat, the next thing you do is vomit. And we never wanted her that. We didn't want her to be a vegetable. We didn't want her to have a stroke. Like, we don't want her to have, she had such a zest for life. That's the last thing she'd want to be doing, is like being in a hospital chair or hospital bed, not any of that kind of stuff. So, we're a very pragmatic family. We're fine with that. We just wanted her to be fine. I hope that answers that question for you. So I wish it was available worldwide. So we talked to the maid people and picked a date. And funny enough, they're like, because they told us you have to give us, I think it was maybe 72 hours a notice, but we gave them like 10 days notice, and they're like, oh, we can't do it that day. We have nobody available. So we have to move the date that we wanted, which was the Thursday, May 8th. We had to move it to Thursday, May 7th. Yeah, Amanda said we told her she could do it as long as she wasn't going to throw in the towel the first time she got a bit sick, which is true. Like, we wanted her to fight a little bit, but she wasn't allowed to, but Mom never was like that. So it wasn't exactly. Yeah, exactly. So she ended up dying on Wednesday, May 7th. And it was, leading up to it, it was just crazy. It was a living funeral, and Mom loves attention. She always did. So the attention that she had, although she was a bit exhausted, she was also, I think, really happy about everybody rallying around her. So we had, I had so many people come to see her. We had organized like through the week before Amanda came out. One of my best friends, Bernie, came from school. Like, we went to university together, and we actually worked together. So, and he used to hang out with us. So he came and visited with her. My girlfriend Christine came over. And then on the weekend, my husband said, let's host all of her girlfriends for a little afternoon party on the Sunday, I think it was. And so all of her girlfriends that lived in her building before she moved to the last building, they came over, and we did a little soiree for her. People made food, walked Ruby. Amanda says they really supported us all this time. Yeah, I know. So I'm just reading some of your comments. So we had so many people like, yeah, her friends, Elsa flew out. That's right. Elsa flew out. And we had so many nice gestures, and like the day I had hosted the event, everybody brought the food. I didn't even have to cook a thing. I just had the event at my house. And somebody's just asking who has Ruby. My sister has Ruby. She lives back in Ontario with her cousin Cookie, her bigger golden doodle. So she would just Cookie and Ruby grew up together, so that's why Mom chose her. And I also have 2 dogs, and in where I live in this apartment condo strata, you're not allowed to have more than 2 pets here. So, and Jackson and Ruby's with Jackson as well. Yeah. So if Amanda was on here, she calls her Ruby the little Velcro strip because she's always around Amanda. And Ruby's still quite boisterous and vocal with Amanda. Oh, her friend Helga, I walked with Helga yesterday. Janet's asking how her friend from her old building is doing with the same disease. Yes, Helga is doing really well. Her tumor markers are coming down. She's booked a cruise for 2026, and she misses Mom dearly. And I texted her last night. I'm like, I'm going for a walk in like 20 minutes. You want to come? And we met up. So that's good. And then, so where am I with this? So the maid, the living funeral. Oh my gosh. So here we are on the Sunday. I wrote some more notes. And then on the Sunday, my girlfriend Anna, this is a funny story. So I don't know if Mom talked about Anna. So Anna was my friend from, we used to work together. I introduced her to Mom. But the 3 of us, we're besties. And we used to travel together and things like that. And Anna moved to Victoria when she met her now husband. In the past year, Anna had been working towards moving back they were going to move to the Isle of Man. And so she was doing this goodbye tour. So her house is up for sale. And she had on the Sunday when she came to visit, she had just cleaned it all up because she was having an open house. And she came over and spent the night at my house and spent the last, Anna's last 24 hours with Mom. And and came out with us. So I was obviously sad because I knew I was going to be missing my 2 best friends, my mama and my Anna was going to be moving away from me. So, that's not cool. But fast forward to that, and after Mom passed away, I'll just finish telling you Anna's story. Her husband decided not to sell the house, even though they had a 100% offer on their place, and they didn't end up moving away. So lucky me. And now I have my girlfriend staying back. So anyhow, Anna was a little distressed from that. And I was, of course, distressed from losing Mom. So we said, fuck it. And we went to Mexico after Mom passed away for 10 days and regrouped to feel better. So Mom would have been really happy that both Anna and I did that. But I digress from the story from losing Mama. So on the Monday that Mom passed, we wanted a dinner plan for the Wednesday. Yes. So the Sunday we did her hosted of her friends, and then Anna came in, and then Anna left on the Monday, and then that's when Jackson and John flew in, Amanda's son. And you probably saw Mom's last TikTok, which was her shimmy, and she wanted to shimmy with Jackson prior to letting him know about Maid, her assisted dying. So she told Jackson after the shimmy video was made, so he wasn't so upset. Of course, Jackson was totally heartbroken, but understood 100%. And yeah, I think she would have been happy that we went to Mexico. Mom loved Mexico too. And so we went, where was I? So they shimmied together, and then Jackson, we had this funny thing with Jackson because we said, Jackson, are you okay? He goes, I'm okay, but not okay. That was our thing. We're okay, but not okay, because we'd be always crying. And he was eating pancakes one morning, and he's like, look, every time I eat pancakes, I start crying. And he's like, look, I'm fine. And then he eats, so we kind of laughed. He was hilarious. Yes, Anna is a friend that went on trips with us to Vegas for sure, 100%. Vanilla, I did buy some vanilla, but it was for my girlfriend. So in the shimmy video, I don't know if you saw that she has some little, they're called butterflies hanging from her arms. And that's where the medication was put under the skin by my sister. So my sister was the nurse, and she stayed with Amanda. Mom and Amanda stayed together the whole time, and Amanda would give her medicine throughout the leading up to her Maid date. She had medicine for nausea and for pain. And she would do that constantly as Mom needed it. We had Fraser Health nurses that came in every day to administer the vials that Amanda would give her. Yeah, so it was really hard on Amanda because she had to do those things. I still came home every night. So I could kind of disassociate myself like with that. But Amanda, she was sleeping in the spare room, and then she moved to her bed as the date get closer, just to be closer to Mom. Because Amanda was sleep deprived, or Mom was, I don't know, they both were. But they just spent a lot of time together. So yeah, we had so many people come through the day before her Maid date on the Wednesday. We didn't really want to tell people the day that she was going to pass away because I didn't want to define their day of what day she was going to die. But then when Mom was going to post her last TikTok, then it kind of pushed my hand, and I had to tell my friends that, oh yeah, her date is Wednesday. I just felt badly for them to be looking at it. Is it now? Is it now? How about not? What time she died? I just didn't want them to have that day. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's what happened. So some of her friends came over to gather around on the May 7th. One thing about Mother, like, she was early for everything. Like, if she told us, we're going to the mall at 10 o'clock, that means we had to be ready at 9:30. I'm like, well, what happened to 10? And nope, she'd be leaving. She'd be ready to go early. Like, she was early for everything. And she would back stuff off. And I was notoriously late. And I swear it's because she was just always backing stuff off. And it used to drive me crazy. If we're going somewhere for like 6 p.m. dinner, I have to get ready at 4. I'm like, what? Why? So it used to drive me crazy. And maybe that's why I moved to BC before her or whatever, because everything's more laid back here. I'm like, and in Ontario, it takes a good 45 minutes to get anywhere. We're here, it's like 20 minutes, and it's more my style. So she was even early for her death. So the maid, doctor, and nurse showed up at 5:30, and it was supposed to be scheduled for 6. And we were like, what? Well, why? And of course, guess who answers the door for the maid people? Mom. She's just like, oh yeah. It was quite funny. I'm just going to look at my notes for a second to see what else I wrote about. I wrote it all over. I wanted to make sure that we have everything to tell you. It's such a blur from when that happened. So one of the things I want to say is that the medicine was a nausea, and one of the things she was on, it was a steroid that she was. Amanda said we felt robbed at the time they were taking her a little earlier. Because we were all sitting around, we're like, what are they doing early? Like, they said they were going to be here at this time. They're going to take us a half hour earlier. So Um, yeah, so one of the things she had was a steroid that Amanda was giving her, and Amanda and I had a discussion, and I was like, Amanda, start giving her more steroids so she's feeling better. One of the things that they also did is they had a butterfly, an emergency butterfly, and they gave us a medication that they said that if shit hit the fan and she wasn't doing well, or she was choking, or blood or anything bad happened, because they didn't know what was going to happen, if she was eating and then throwing up, or like something really bad happened, it would slip her into a coma. Like, that's how bad they were worried about it. And I want to also say is we had a phone call with our family doctor, and they said their goodbyes because they've been really close over this whole, he's just a wonderful doctor. And I said to him, because it was on voice, it was on speakerphone, I said to him, is she just rushing it? Do we have more time? And he said, no, Rebecca, it's time. And so when the palliative doctor came over to pre-do the homemade date, because we told him when we're doing it on the Wednesday, he goes, oh, maybe you should think about doing it on the weekend. Like, they were concerned that she was even going to make it to the Wednesday. So although she looked good on video and the final message and all that kind of stuff, she was really suffering inside. It was only on the steroids and the medication why she looked so good and why she had any energy. So I want to make sure to convey that message to you, that she wouldn't have made it. She was suffering, and her body was going to shut down totally. And Amanda's right. She wasn't eating at all. We had her on freezies. So, in the beginning, I would make her a poached egg, and I was the only one allowed to make her a poached egg. But then later on, they're like, no, it's not. It's dangerous for her to eat. So it was a really hard time on that. So anyway, on the last day, she wanted king crab to eat. And so we sourced some king crab, and she ate that around 3 o'clock, 3 or 4 o'clock. We made that for her. I have pictures of her absolutely loving it and devouring it. And Just Me Stacy says, what happened to Miss Anita? Just got here. Yes, my mom has passed away. She passed away May 7th with assisted dying. And so, yeah, she just wasn't doing well. So when the house was full of people, everybody who loved her, we were sitting beside her, we were like telling stories. Her neighbors came by, when we barely knew them, but they were super kind. They brought us a food tray and all that, a tray of food, and they were really kind. And we are like, oh, it's kind of weird that they're staying here. But on the other side of things, Mom was telling them stories that, of course, I've heard for tons of times, and it was so refreshing to hear them again. Yes, she was able to eat the crab. And shortly after, the doctors for MAID showed up, and we had decided what was going to happen. And there's three medicines that happen during MAID. There's one that puts you to sleep, one that kind of paralyzes the body, and one that stops the heart, or something like that. And so we decided who was going to be in the room. And so everybody's in the living room, and then Mom walked to her bedroom. And of course, walking even to the bedroom was weird. And Amanda and my husband were like, what, she's just going to walk up and go to her death? Like, that's just so weird. And that's what everybody was struggling with. That one moment she's fine, and one moment she's going to be dead. So they went, so when Mom went and laid on the bed, we decided that Amanda and I, of course, and Ruby was going to be there. And my husband decided he was going to be there. And Jackson would stay for the first injection for him when Nana went to sleep. And John went out to support Jackson during that time. And that's what Jackson's wishes were. It wasn't like we wanted him to be there. We gave him the option, and that's what he chose. And Amanda felt fine with that, and because he loved his Nana so much. So that's exactly what happened. Mom answered the front door for the doctor. Even the doctor was surprised that she was answering the door. And everybody in the room, in the living room, was like, any last minutes of advice, or any final words? And at this point she was getting annoyed. She was tired. She'd had enough, and she just wanted to die. She was just like, ugh. It was like being a rock star, and everybody came for their first goodbyes, their second goodbyes, their third goodbyes. And if anybody was crying, she'd be like, pack it in. And Elsa was crying. She's like, Elsa, pack it in. Like, it was kind of like funny, but you could see that, I don't know if she didn't want people crying because she didn't want to cry and feel sorry for herself, or if she was just trying to be strong, or she just didn't want to cry. Like, I don't know. But yeah, she did it her way, Melanie. You're right. You're totally right. And we did take some pictures. And we had somebody said that to us, and it was really sweet because we didn't think about the last family picture. And they're like, do you want to do the last family picture? And we did. Yeah. So yeah, she was she was totally telling people to pack it in. Yep, pack it in. So we had that joke a lot during the during all the whole time. Are you crying? Pack it in. And then what happened? Of course, we went all in the room, and so her last words to the room were like, look, guys, I love you all. There's nothing important I can say. I just really appreciate you guys all being here, and I love you. You know how much you mean to me. So yes, she was still telling us what to do. So we all went into the room, and she sat on the bed, like at a 45-degree position, and they had put an IV in her hand, and the medicine was like this big syringe, and they gave her the first one, and she kind of joked about counting backwards, and she did, and she was out like a light. And then Jackson and John left the room, and then she had the other 2 injections. So one stops the heart, and I don't know what the other 2 do. Obviously, it peacefully, she died. Peacefully, super peacefully. And she said, yes, I'm happy, honey. I knew she was okay and didn't cry after that. That's what Amanda said. So anyway, it was tough, but she was absolutely so strong through the whole thing. And she was just amazing. And she's been cremated, and so after that, it was surreal. Her friends and family, they stayed around for us for a little bit, and they waited for the coroner to show up for us. And we went back to my house, and Amanda and the family stayed with us. And John and Jackson flew out on the weekend, and Amanda stayed for like another 10 days. And yeah, a doctor did this. And the process was very quick. It was done within 5 minutes. So she passed away before we thought she would. She was like gone by 10 after 6, easily. Yeah. It was hard, but she needed it. It was time. Yeah. Louisa said her chariot picked us up. Yeah, it was good. And then we went to Mexico. You're right, Anna. So we were very lucky because of Mom's style and grace. Her landlord, because she was renting, and my brother-in-law is a great negotiator. I had set them up with the landlord and him, and he negotiated us to basically sell all of her belongings and sell it so he could do it as a furnished apartment. So we didn't have to get rid of the bed and the couch and things like that. And it was amazing. This is happening in Canada, so not made assisted dying as JP is not everywhere, just so you know. What else? So we were lucky that we weren't expecting that income, so we decided to throw her a big celebration of life event for her. So that's why we did that, and because everybody in Ontario was feeling the loss, because here we had a living funeral, and everybody felt like they did. It did show like a sweep for sure. So everybody felt like they had said their goodbyes with mom because it was a living funeral for that many days. It was like 10 days of being a rock star and so many people showing up. And we were exhausted by that point. And I remember the last day before everybody showed up, I realized it was just Amanda, mom, and I said, guys, this is the last time it's just going to be the three of us. So that part was hard on us. Anyways, pack it in. Amanda said, yeah. Yes, and Anna said she sent me a heart-shaped rock when we were on the beach in Mexico, which is true. We did, yes. And what else? So now I'm here. I'm packing it in. And I'm sorry. It's hard. But I'll do my best for you guys on her TikTok. And I know she would want me to pack it in. We're just gonna enjoy her and everything that she has taught Amanda and I. And we're going to be amazing. It's just going to be amazing that I'm going to repost her videos. And if I have time, because I also have a job, I'll try to maybe go live here and there and maybe cook some of her favorite foods. She was an excellent cook. When you talk to my friends, you talk about, what do you think of the recipes of what mom has? And they say her Yorkshire puddings, her roast beef dinner, her rice pilaf, her chicken and chips. Like, she's got so many different recipes. And it's just amazing that when I go through her content, I don't see as many of her cooking, but of course, because she was doing so much baking. So, yeah. So maybe I can do some of that. And I'm going to have Jackson and Amanda collaborate and send me some content whenever they can, and I'll post that. And yeah, it is a gift with all these things that her chicken wine was yeah. So we definitely had some chicken wine after she passed. So I want to have a mimosa here to cheers my mama. We love you, mama. And Sweet Showcase Sweet said, recipe book. Well, I'll buy one. Proceeds to ovarian cancer research. Yeah, we're thinking of it. So we'll see. We love you, mama. Cheers. 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 So is there any other questions that you want to talk about now that you made me cry? You guys made me cry. Pack it in. Is there any other questions that you want to know? Yeah, I know, you guys are hilarious. Amanda says, I'm doing a great job. Thank you, sissy. I can't pack it in. Gingerbread sugar will always make me think of her every Christmas. I know. Well, we'll have to at least certainly make some gingerbread. I have my own Gingergate story to tell one day. But, oh, I'm sorry. So Ruby is doing really well. She's living in Ontario and she's feeling amazing, bossing my sister around. Yes. She loved you guys. She was so proud of you all. Her stories were so awesome. I know, that's what's hilarious. It's so funny that we just never talked about what we were going to do with her TikTok. Yeah, Jackson is visiting in Scotland and England. He's flying back tomorrow. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Swag TV. Oh, thank you. I was so excited to learn how to use rice paper to decorate my chocolates. So cool. Family was everything to Mom. Yeah. So, I know, the video of grandson popped an egg in her forehead. That was one of her favorite moments for sure. What else did I have to tell you? Is there anything, other favorite recipes or anything you want to talk about? Yeah, we do have some stuff, surprises in the works. Hopefully we can work towards. I'm planning to keep her TikTok account alive. I'll repost when I can, and I'll add some content when I can, for sure. It's been very emotional this past couple of months. It's hard to believe that, she died in May. Here it is almost end of July. We're ready for her to come back. I feel like she's been on a guest. She was gone away. She's gone on vacation. And then, I want to talk about her final message. What did everybody think of her final message? Like, yes, her account. Yes, I could teach my cricket skills on her account for sure. What was I going to say? Her final message was just so much. Yeah, it was beautiful and heartbreaking at the same. She was very sweet. We held it back for a while because we wanted to play it at the celebration of life. And yeah, it was sweet. Yeah, her final message was so nice. She wanted us to give it to you. I'm just reading the comments. Well, I hope everybody is wearing their lipstick and making their day perfect. Oh, how many viewers? She's at 6.6 million views so far. And on Instagram, it's 7.7 million. And she's getting more and more followers every day. So when she died, she had 608,000 followers, and now she's up to like 632,000 followers. And I always joke, I'm like, if Mom knew that she was going to have more followers because of her dying, she would have died a long time ago. I think she would just, say things like that. And it just made me laugh. Yeah, we would like to get her to 1 million. Wouldn't that be amazing? I don't know what her lipstick shade was. Maybe Amanda knows. I don't know if I have it here. I don't know if I have it extra. There's only so many things I took. No, that was Amanda's. Her MAC lipstick. Oh my gosh, I can't even see it. All fired up, maybe? There's some things I took out of her house. They must be these ones. Oops. This one says, lovers only, brave. What do you think? Mama's. These all. Mom and I wear similar. Brace, Amanda said it was called Brace. Beat? I don't know, I don't have a beat. All fired up. I took some things, but not everything. I can't take everything. What's this one? Chili? I don't know. I don't wear MAC lipstick because I like the lipstick that stays. This one's brand new. It's never been used. But yes, there's Harrison in the background. So that box with the blue flowers on it are some of her keepsakes, things that were very important to her. And I always joked with her that that this is where is it? This way, this box here. I told her that she'd end up in a box one day because my dogs, or their ashes and stuff, her ashes are not in that box, but her keepsakes are. So her earrings that she wore all the time, anything that meant specialness to her are in that box, even her passport, that type of thing. Yeah, she hated Harrison. Harrison's the stuffed animal right there. I used to tease her. He's a what is it? He's a Sasquatch, a bald Sasquatch. And I used to tease her and send it to her, because I used to put it in her bedroom when she was visiting, and she would throw it out in the hall. She's like, I hate him. He's gross. And so I used to tease him and send him to Amanda for her Christmas Eve gift. And then once Amanda took him to Panama and sat him on the chair and did that kind of thing with him and just joked around with her all the time. Yeah, exactly. That's who Harrison is right there. But he's got a hat on. Let's show him. But he's not a good looking fella, right? Like, he's kind of... So we always say that he's a ladies' man, but he's a pig. So he hangs out here. My sandals and shoes. Yeah. Yeah, Harrison. He looks like your husband. Oh my gosh. Aren't you lucky? Can I speak French? No. Well, a little bit, but not really fluent at all. We did it in high school. Yeah. Well, and is there anything else you guys want to know before I wrap it up? We've been on here an hour. I really appreciate all the support. Anna said Harrison's not good with towel animals. Do you guys want me to do more lives? Yeah, Mom was so brave. Yeah. Is there anything I left out? Absolutely more lives. What kind of things do you want to know on my lives? No, she didn't keep a journal. She had some stuff. Hello, Melissa. You're in White Rock. Yes, Mom loved going to Crescent Beach. We used to walk there. I have some... Yes, I have her ashes. Yeah. My sister's texting me. Hold on. Some of the cake stuff I gave away to some people in need. Yeah. Hello, Wicked Treats. We miss her dearly. No, I'm not planning to take her page down. I saw that you put that. Yeah, I know. It's the memories that come up on TikTok are helpful for me keeping her memory alive. So I'm just working on some of that. Oops. Oops. Sorry, I'm gonna have to. Oops. I'm going to have to wrap it up because it says that it's going to end in 5 minutes. Yeah, I liked all the feedback that you guys did. This went really well. I'm sorry for crying. The baby, I gotta pack it in. No problem, Ian. I like to get to know you guys. I'm so happy that you're keeping up her memory on TikTok. She would love that. Thank you. Anna says, great job, Peep. Love you, Peep. Yeah, see you soon, guys. And I know, crying over my mama, but she'd be like, she just want us to pack it in. Just be happy. And I often don't cry about her because I just know that she's with me. And some people tell me, are you going to get a tattoo? And I'm like, I have her DNA. This is me. This is, mom's all over me. So I don't need a tattoo. I have mom. Yeah. She is. She was screaming, pack it in. Thanks for your time and love to your family. Yeah. Okay. So thanks so much. And we'll be in touch. Okay. And hopefully that closed some of your questions about what's going on with her life. Okay. Bye for now.